All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome alive tonight here at Las Vegas Speedway. That's right, Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays at Vegas. Well, what's going to happen on this track tonight? Pretty much going to stay on here because we got some awesome guys here from the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series here. We got some truck action going to happen around this awesome track. And Las Vegas is a unique style place, multi-grooved, and usually has some exciting style racing. Well, I'm Joe right up here in the booth, as always, accompanied by Harrison. Harrison, how you doing?
Oh, I'm all right tonight. How are you doing, Joe?
Pretty good. I tell you what, man, right now, it's in qualifying. We got 35, actually 36, excuse me. Some boys out here tear this place apart.
Oh, definitely. And, you know, what we saw from Chicago and Atlanta with the grooves widening out, a lot of pack racing early on, then a lot of tire wear action. I think we're going to see a little bit of that here in Vegas. It's maybe some gambling. I mean, we are in Vegas after all.
Hey, gambling's always a good thing. I'm not very good at it, but, it's just like the lottery. Who knows? Anybody can win. And you're right. Tonight, when we look through this field, I said it last week, I mean, it's wow. A talent-packed and star-studded. Any one of these guys out here can pull off a win. You know, we got the old guys out there. We got Michael Guest back out there, Malik Ray. Obviously, we talk about them. But we got, just a who's who of names when we go and look through it. So when you say gamble, hey, it might take a gamble to win here tonight.
Oh, that's no joke. I mean, this field has really been fantastic, top to bottom. And last week at Bristol, such a place that's just known for being notorious for breeding cautions. All that green racing, I mean, that's a product of the drivers that we have here.
Well, we went from the small track there in Bristol, which was it's a small track, nonetheless, to a track like this, a little bit bigger, a lot more speed involved. In Bristol, we all know the last great Coliseum, that place there brings out the gladiator in everyone. I call it it's kind of almost like a demo derby of cars or trucks or whichever one's out there running. But here to Vegas, where you're going to have multi-grooves, Harrison, where these guys are going to be able to use maybe the middle, the top, the bottom. Probably see some 3-wide racing at times. A lot more speed. Your mentality changes as a driver coming here.
Yeah, definitely, because you know that you have more than one place that you could try to make a pass, and I think as we go deeper into this one too, as the grooves open up, as you mentioned, it'll be interesting because, historically at Vegas, you'll see the high side come in, you'll see the bottom work. It seems like the middle in turns 1 and 2, and then the high side gets better and the bottom gets better. Sometimes the bottom's best at first, so it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out here at the beginning and then how it changes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still in qualifying here, folks, here live tonight here for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series here, and these are the trucks that they're running out here in this series here. We got a lot of great things going to be happening here in the next several weeks at Sim500. We'll let you know as we get more info on that involved. As tonight though, we got 36 and some bad fast boys and some bad fast monster trucks on a bad fast gamble of a track here at Las Vegas. And wow, I can tell I'm kind of pumped up to see this one here, Harrison, because watching these guys, again, I go back to starstruck. I mean, we are in Vegas. Not only do we talk about gambling, but we do talk about casino shows and, Hollywood and all that good stuff right next door. So a lot of these guys, maybe they're going to be auditioning for some Hollywood spots.
Oh, certainly you have the personalities too. Some of these guys will get on the radio and showcase themselves a little bit, but I tell you, I mean, it's a showman's town. We got some showmen here, and it's a nightlife town too. And hey, it's kind of late. It's a good time for a nice prime time show.
There you go. Prime time live here tonight for us here, and we're showing it off. Yeah, also, folks, we want to welcome everybody in here tonight. Tuning in, get your refreshments in. We're in the middle of qualifying here still. Looks like old Michael Guest putting it up top as of right now. He's got Nicholas Cohan right there behind him. Justin Fuller sitting in third. Stephen Goschalk. Matter of fact, got that right. Got up with Joey, and he said it is Goschalk. So there we go. We got that one underway. Me and you've been talking about that one the last couple of weeks. And Rick McBride, he rounds out the top 5. But let's take a few guys that can pop up in there. This qualifying is not concluded, so they're still under the way there. You got 3 laps or 10 minutes, whichever comes first.
Yeah, definitely. And something that Iracing allows you to keep taking laps once you get your 2 time laps in. So you see a lot of guys actually continue around the track taking practice. And a quick little thing about Steve Gottschalk, I talked to him during the week, and he said, there's a funny thing about my name. I never correct people on this, but the S is actually silent, and I couldn't believe that because for years I thought it was Gottschalk, and he told me it's Gottschalk. Like, Gottschalk? Gottschalk. Yeah. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, and I know, I'll go ahead and apologize. I will probably mess it up again before the night's over with. So, Gottschalk. So there we go. I know what the way I probably will say it fast. I'll end up putting that S, Gottschalk again, on there. I'll be just messing it up.
I've seen him for years, and I never knew that. So I'll be messing it up too as I get used to it.
And there was one other one out there. I don't see him out here right now though, but Justin, or I believe it's Justin, Caudell, I believe it is what he said.
Oh yeah, Jonathan Caudell.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, that's definitely one that I've messed up a time or two.
Yeah, me too. Well, tell you what, guess what, Harrison? Qualifying's underway and out of the way right now. We're gridding these things up here. So let's go through the grid order, the top 10 here. Michael Guest putting it on pole. Nicholas Cohan, he's right there in second. We got Justin Fuller sitting in third. And we were just talking about Steve Gottschalk sitting there in fourth. Fifth place man, Rick McBride, sixth. Brian Boris Cook right there in the sixth spot. Seventh place, Tim Matthews. Eighth place, E.J. O'Rourke. Ninth place, Joe Hudson. And 10th place rounded out here, Nathan Bowers. We look to the rest of this huge field here. I'll say it one more time. A star-packed, star-studded, and a lot of skill sitting out here.
Absolutely. Some of the names who didn't make it into the top 10 include Steve Minson and Bobby Terrell. Chad Coleman, a winner this season, starting from 16th. We got Simley, Thomas George, Byron Daly again. I said he was a peak driver last week. He's actually a former peak driver, so my mistake on that. He stopped it after this year, but some serious talent here. Mike Kelly, 29th. A lot of guys coming from the back.
Yeah, we see that. I'll tell you, it's just, I don't know. It's action, and wow, I saw a name out there, Chris Gaboo. I think we were saying that pretty much close to right there, Gaboo. So I believe that's how Joey came up and pronounced it for me. And I said, so we were right, Gaboo.
Oh yeah, you were more right than I was. I think I was a little bit off, but you had it right.
Yeah, it's close. I was just trying to get that. I'd heard it said before. Some of these names out here. That's what I was trying to tell you before, Harrison. If I hadn't heard probably some of these last names, I'd be all over the place. From last season when they ran here in the Monday Night Money Series. And so I got a little heads up, like, Scott Formosa. If I'd have saw his name for the first time, I went, how you say that? Formosa? What? That's all right.
Yeah, and when I remember one time I did a 2 hours at Watkins Glen, I believe, with road course guys, and oh my God, I felt so bad because I did poorly with some Finnish names and Scandinavian, and
I'm with you on that one. I did I'll be the first to admit, I'll go ahead, my redneck, English sometimes steps on my foot.
It's tough. I mean, you come to Iracing, you learn names, that's for sure. There are a lot of names you just never thought you'd see before. It's like working in telemarketing almost.
Absolutely, and it's good, man, to have drivers that'll work with you too. Leagues and all these drivers are really, hey, we try to get them right and whatnot, and that's one thing we try up here. But about the racing, they love it. They love us guys get up here and talk about the things. We're getting set here to go green flag racing, folks. Here live tonight. We're at the Las Vegas Speedway for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. I'll tell you, that's a huge set field here as the pace car's coming out of turn number 4. About to take that hard left turn off on pit road. The man up front, Michael Guest, going to lead the charge here. That's some awesome monster trucks. Here we go, green flag in the air. Michael Guest takes off, and behind him, Justin Fuller with the 57 machine right there. Nicholas Cohan, they storm off heading into turn 1. They're still 2 by 2 in the second spot. Wow, they're 3 wide, 2 wide all the way back.
Oh yeah, lots of vying for positions right now. Justin Fuller and the 51 able to get into second place. Nick Cohan, we've seen him make some Hail Marys on strategy at previous races. Qualified up front this week, so he's trying not to be under in Vegas. He wants to save his money.
Absolutely, and the Nerf machine right there. Old Steve in the 91 dropped off the pace just a little bit, dropped back to 7. He squeezed in the line in front of E.J. O'Rourke. That's another name to keep an eye on. This might be a track that suits his driving style very, very quite well here. He's kind of an aggressive style driver, and he'll be able to put that to work here on a track like this.
Absolutely. E.J. O'Rourke, by the way, spoke with him last night. He's the most recent Sim500 Sunday Cup Series winner, so he won last night. I believe at Martinsville.
Wow, that's a good one right there. Tough track, been in a tough car, but you're right, he did pull that win off. Right now, he's currently running in the 8th spot. Got Joe Hudson right there behind him. El Pedro Mega, boy, we don't count him out. Brings the Mega machine to the front in that 48. Last couple weeks, that cat's been able to storm to the front in a heartbeat.
Yeah, lots of speed from the 48 of Pedro Mega. Saw him get into an accident there at Bristol, but every other week, he even had speed at Bristol, but we saw him charge to the lead at Atlanta. Kind of a similar racetrack. All these guys staying right on top of each other, very reminiscent of the way Chicago and Atlanta looked early on. Tie-wear may come into play here before long, but for right now, look at these guys, all on top of each other. A lot of 2 wide, a lot of action.
Absolutely, action up front and back. Talk about action. We got a pass for the lead. We don't see that often, though, but he did it. There's Justin Fuller calling the popcorn machine out there in the 51. Made it look easy. Went right around Michael Guest up there up front. He's taking the helm here as he comes across the line to complete this time by. So let me get that thing up. Complete lap 5 here of 120 in the books. So wow, he puts that thing out front, and still Michael Guest right there in second. Nicholas Cohan And look at that storm of cars. Nicholas Cohan, Brian Boris Cook, and old Rick McBride, they're all right there battling.
Yeah, Rick McBride, earlier this season on a big track, a lot of speed, similar racetrack here at Vegas. Brian Cook, I tell you, Cook has been, he's almost, I don't know if an enigma would be in the right word, but seems like 1 week he's got a lot of speed. The next week it's a little bit of a struggle. Looks like he's got a lot of speed here in Vegas. Still side by side with that 57 of Nick Cohan, though. They're going for third.
Yeah, absolutely. And right there, they are still neck and neck, side by side. Nicholas Cohan, he's on the inside there. Got Rick McBride up high. Looks like right now, though, these guys have been able to use multi-groove so far. We'll have to see if that holds true throughout the whole entire tire run. Now behind him, okay, now I got Tim Matthews right there, E.J. O'Rourke, and Pedro Mega and Company. They're slowly but surely trying to bring them trucks to the front.
Yeah, and it looks a little bit tough to pass on the inside. You figure as we get through the run here, it'll change a little bit, might provide more passing opportunities. But you can see they still run low, the 48 going underneath the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke. Meanwhile, the 41 looking underneath the 54 Matthews, tucks back in line behind him. So Mega right here going for 7th with EJ, drives it deep into turn number 3. Looks like it's going to stick. EJ tries to keep the nose on the outside of him. They're going to still be side by side down the front stretch.
Yeah, it is. Going to try to bring Steve along with him behind him in the Nerf Mobile. You're right. It looks like that inside grooves are working pretty good. The outside might come in. That's another thing we talked about before. The dynamics of the track here in iRacing now that they've got. Over the course of the race, these guys will be searching around for grip. As those tires start to give away on them, they'll start to search for that grip here. Right now, that inside groove looks like it's the place to be as Pedro dives on the inside. The 54 is going to make it work, bringing E.J. O'Rourke along with him. They come drag racing to the line. Looks like the 54 got him that time.
Yeah, it's painful down the straightaways. Once you have that good run on the corners there, you see the 48 of Mega drives, makes up ground, center entry. But as we get to exit here, that high line could just use that momentum, and you watch that 54 of Tim Matthews kind of pull back alongside him down the straightaway. So it's that fight of, if I could just get clear of him, I think I could pull away, but I just can't do it because the high side just has that run on the front stretch, and that time the 54 really able to put some distance there. You see Mega all the way on the apron trying to do everything he can to make up ground, but stuck in a side-by-side for Mega for now.
Yeah, it is. They are still 2x2, 2 back right there. And that one up front, though, you still got Justin Fuller out front leading it. Now, Brian Boris Cook right there making waves in the Jurassic Park machine. Got that thing roaring out there in the 63. He went around. Look, Michael Guest is dropping off the pace just a little bit up front. He's already dropped back to 4th place. Rick McBride got around him. Now he's going to have his hands full with Nicholas Cohan here in just a second.
Yeah, and I may be wrong about this, but the way Michael Guest ran at Chicago, at Atlanta, at various tracks, or Bristol even last week, obviously a very different racetrack, I kind of feel like that 74 of Michael Guest might be on the Brian Boris Cook there almost got on the wall out of turn 2 if he didn't, but I think Michael Guest might be doing a little tire saving strategy. We'll have to see as the run goes on, but right now he's trying to get around the 63 of Brian Boris Cook, who may have some right side damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he flirted with disaster a little bit with that wall. And this race so far has that appeal of being a long, long green flag run. And you're probably right on that one there, Harrison. Talking about the 74, Michael Guest probably saving some tires. We'll start seeing the guys that actually do save tires come to the front if that's the case. Because on a track like this, where the weather and everything is good, the setup's good, and everything's sticking and everybody's fast, it's hard to pass at first. But I'm going to tell you, nobody told that to the 48 machine of Pedro, though, because he's making passes like crazy.
Yeah, right now flirting with the top 5 right behind that Jurassic Park machine. Brian Boris Cook chooses to go on the outside, though. I think Pedro saw, you know what, it might be easier to pass on the outside. But look at Cook get tight out of turn 2 there. They avoided contact. 48 Omega gets above him. So heading down into turn number 3, you'll see Pedro drive way deep into turn 3. 63 of Brian Boris Cook able to hang alongside him, but going down that front stretch, runs him a little bit tight. I was bracing for impact there for a second, but nice battle here for 5th.
Yeah, it is. Nice battle. And that's the thing, too. We're just seeing maybe that inside groove down that's starting to make those trucks just a little bit tight. That looks like the outside type, middle to top groove's the one to be at right now because you get that momentum as these trucks get a little tight. Oh, Cobalt machine up into the wall coming out of the turn there. Something we haven't seen yet. As the truck gets tight, they're going to flirt with disaster coming out of those turns there. So we might be seeing that's what Boris Cook is looking And as you said about the 74, well, here he comes back to the front. So maybe that's what it was. He was just saving a little bit of tire.
Yeah, and Justin Fuller, he really put some distance on these guys. Fuller has about a second lead, but Michael Guest underneath the 78 right now. Another thing about the high side, as you were just talking about, you get to turn the wheel a little bit less, just a slightly wider radius, and, you know, that's just helps the tires a lot. Some people would say, you know, the goal of running one of these speedways is to turn the wheel the least amount that you have to be able to run up front.
Absolutely. Smoothness here is the word I was always taught, but they told me about running an oval. You want to be smooth and consistent. That's the thing. It's a way different animal than running in a road course side of things. But you see Michael Guest make that pass right there on Rick McBride on the second spot and goes to the second spot. He's going to look for his eyes and try to run down Justin Fuller. Well, Rick says, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me try to do the crossover if you can. Just I think the trucks are getting a little tight here as they go into the run. As you see them get tight loose coming off the turn.
Yeah, Nick Cohan's going to look to take advantage of that, and using the high side, the 78 touches the grass a little bit down the front stretch. I think Nick Cohan's going to be able to clear that 78 truck going down the back stretch here, and he does, coming out of turn 2. So now, Nick Cohan, you know, pretty good pace, keeping up with Michael Guest here, and I think we might see them chase down that 51 of Fuller little by little. But I tell you, sometimes it pays to be aggressive and get a lead, and then by the time they get to you, you might be even and be able to hold them off, but we'll see how that works out for Justin Fuller.
Absolutely. Right now, Justin still got a pretty good gap on him and is running pretty good lap times over the two guys right there behind him. Nicholas Cohan's running pretty quick, so it seems like it's one good lap one time and one to run one next. So guy on the move's got to be Pedro Omega right there. Came from 11th, currently sitting 5th. He's got Tim Matthews looking on his inside. Again, I just got a feeling that high side right now looks to be the place that's working, unless you've just got a very, very good handling truck or the momentum going into the turn, as they will drag race it 3 wide coming through the line. Well, they thought about it for a second.
Yeah, and that 63 truck of Cook right there in that battle, who was looking to the outside 3 wide. I saw him practicing 3 wide in practice. He was aggressive in practice, making moves, really learning a lot about what that truck will do in traffic and tight situations. And you know, so that really allows you to be a little bit more comfortable in the race. Right now, the 48 able to distance himself a little bit. The 91 Steve Gottschalk working underneath that 63 of Cook, not able to clear him there in 3 and 4, but they're all sorts of on top of each other here with that the 41 of O'Rourke rejoining that battle.
Yeah, it is 41 right there saying, look, fellas, which way you want to go? I'll go with you. 91's on the inside of 63 there. That's Brian's Morris Cook on the outside. And on the inside, you got Steve Gottschalk right there. He's got that Nerf mobile. They'll still go door to door. Wow, they're almost getting close there, touching. E.J. O'Rourke's thinking about maybe 3 wide if he can make it work. Can't right now. He's got to stoop back in line. Boy, that is a massive dog fight going on right there, Harrison.
Ooh, and a little bit of contact. The 41 got into the back of Cook there going down the front stretch. A little bit of a twitch, but no harm, no foul, no damage, no big wiggle. I think Cook was able to stay full throttle, trying to give him that big run down the back stretch, and the 63 tried to put it in the gap between Pedro Omega and the wall, and there was a little bit of contact there, but they were able to avoid an accident. But that kind of gave the 48 a shove forward and sent the 63 backward a little bit, but Cook still on the outside of Gottschalk here at the front stretch.
Yeah, it is. Old Chad Coleman there. He's bringing it up into the mix there. That number 20 come out of the turn there. Got just a little bit wiggly, but you still say door to door. The 91 there. Steve on the inside. Got Brian Boris right there on the outside. With that 63, what's going on, John? How you doing out there? That's right. We're live here tonight. Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series here in the trucks at Las Vegas Speedway, and so far these guys are doing a lot of gambling with speed. As you see a huge of them right there. That's Steve right there on the inside along with Brian. He's on the outside. E.J. O'Rourke is trying to push that truck to the front.
Yeah, definitely. They're kind of gambling on strategy right now. How hard can they push these trucks? We're 23 laps in, no cautions yet, knock on wood. I hope I didn't jinx anybody, but you know, that a lot of times you start these races, you're thinking short run for a little while and then get to the long run. Well, we got to a pretty long run immediately, and these guys are still on top of each other, 6th through 10th or so. Brian Cook gets a little bit loose out of turn number 4. Gottschalk on the bottom, being a little bit conservative, thinking the 63 might have been coming down in front of him there. But you just mentioned Chad Coleman in the 20, who just joined this battle. Coleman won Atlanta was the fastest guy on the long run. You have to wonder if that's gonna, transfer over here. The 63 in the wall, though, the 41 of O'Rourke gets into the back of him. I think Chad Coleman was able to avoid.
Yeah, 63 got the wall right there, just pushed up a little bit. Got a run on Pedro Mega right there and ran up on him. Probably had to let off and then ran him right up into the wall. What I'm seeing right now, though, and we saw E.J. O'Rourke is around.
Ooh, the 41, we saw him battling there for 10th. A lot of damage, some rear end damage on the 41. Gonna have to go back and see what happened, but as I had zoomed ahead, I actually...
Yeah, let's go back on the replay here. Let's see what the viewers see. Let's go back one more time here. We caught the tail end of it right there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I caught warp at the time of the incident. I see that it's a one-car incident, but not actually sure how the 41 came around.
Yeah, all right, well, we're watching here. Yeah, he's just losing it, coming out of turn. I was seeing him earlier on. Yeah, that truck just snapped out from under him. He tried to hold on to it, and he caught the wall and then just spun around. Luckily, that thing did not come back in the middle of the pack. Could have been disastrous for a lot. So just a single car spin, but unfortunate for him. I saw him a lap earlier there before we saw Brian Boris Cook get into the wall. He was battling that thing there, Harrison, holding on to the rear end of it. It was trying to step out from under him every way it could.
Oh yeah, just one lap before at a turn 4, he was very sideways. And sometimes you wonder too, when you make contact with another truck like he did with Cook, sometimes it really changes the way you handle and you get him to the next corner and you're kind of surprised by what it does. But he was fighting that truck even before. So looks like while Cook was getting tight on exit, EJ was getting looser. So interesting there.
Yeah, no doubt. Seems like a lot of these trucks were starting to get a little loose. Saw, like I said, Chad Coleman was getting a little loose as he was coming into it. Well, pit stops. Everybody's going to come in here and definitely want some 4 tires and fuel as we're under caution for the first time here. And it's kind of like what we were seeing. These trucks were starting to get really loose out there. They were really racy, though, all the way through the whole entire first 20-some laps. They wasn't giving an inch through that whole pack there. And old Chad Coleman, he spun right through his pits. Actually, it's Nicholas Cohan, my bad.
Oh, Nick Cohan. So that might end up causing him to try a little bit different strategy to make up for lost track position, depending on how many seconds he loses here. Looks like he's only going to lose a few spots, luckily. So, it could have been worse for that 57.
Could have been, I tell you. Yeah, I saw him come in, and he almost went sideways with it into his pits, but he got it mowed down there really quickly. And so, got out, not too bad. Right now, Brian Boris Cook's the one that stayed out there. Got Joey Katina staying out. I wonder if he's going to stay out or if he's just trying to stay out maybe to get some bonus points or whatnot here. Because, hey, points are definitely valuable. We're talking about championships here. Anything can happen.
Yeah, these guys all trying to make the chase, which will have 8 trucks. And so points matter. I believe we'll have 9 races and then a couple of chase races and then the finale. And so these guys are, they're often thinking big picture. I believe the 63 of Cook may lead this lap. I'm not actually, no, it looks like he will be beat by a car on the track. But yeah, it is a little interesting because there are a lot of trucks on the lead lap right now, over 30.
Absolutely. Definitely nobody a lap down so far. And we've got 36 bad fast machines out here tonight at Las Vegas Speedway for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series here. I have myself, Joe White, up here in the booth, accompanied by Harrison up here, and we're live. OSRNetwork here, bringing it to you here on YouTube, Twitch, and oh yeah, Iracing Live. I want to appreciate those guys letting us do that. And been able to showcase this league and showcase these drivers because, boy, again, I got to say it again, Harrison, now star-studded. I mean, there's no lack of skill in this whole entire field.
Absolutely. I mean, when you have 36 trucks and we just stay green like that, I feel like I'm the one who jinxed the green flag run there because I was just talking about it looking like a long run situation happening there. But, can't say enough of it. I mean, you look at last week, Bristol, as you said earlier, can be a demolition derby. We went green for a long time to sort that one out at Bristol. It was our fastest race of the year as far as length of race.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you was looking there and watching going, really? Is that time? Hey, and again, this one could be a pretty quick one too here. Just spread out the speeds that they have here. and running so far. Yeah, it was a pretty good long green flag run. I think it was just these guys now know how far they might be able to push these trucks with 20-some laps on the tires there. They'll know now, okay, what point the tires start to fall off, how far I can push the truck, how much I can, because we were seeing them in a pack right there for lap after lap. They were doing a fantastic job of driving side by side with each other. But now they'll know, hey, I can push the truck this far, and this is what I can do with it.
It's kind of like studying for a quiz, and then, well, here comes a quiz, or one of several. And exactly, they took notes, and now they're trying to, they're going to adjust, just like you said. They're going to adjust how they approach this run because of how the last run went.
Absolutely. Well, as we're getting set to go back green flag racing here, folks. When they cross that line, it'll be lap 30 of 120 in the books here at Las Vegas. Another man we got to keep our eye on here, Harrison. When we go back green flag, Malik Ray. Man's moved it up to 14th so far. So he's coming up through the field slowly but surely. Got a couple other ones there. Was looking at Scott Formosa. Bobby Terrell. That's another one I mentioned. So a couple of them moving up through the field here we'll keep an eye on.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how far they can go. Malik Ray quietly moving forward into the top 15, right behind Byron Daly, who I saw scrape the wall a little bit earlier. His truck looks okay, though, but leading them to the green, the 51, Justin Fuller, took the outside lane.
Yes, he did. Pace cars in. Here we go. Justin Fuller's going to lead them off to the charge here as the green flag flies. Wow, boy, almost got stood up in the back, but look at Malik Ray. He takes it to the high side on the start, and the 78 didn't get going. He blew up.
I don't know if he missed a shift, which then caused it to blow up, or what happened there, but the whole line was checking up big time, and it looks like he goes into the wrong gear. His car goes backwards, and the 57 hits him, and then it blows up as he's trying to get out of everybody's way. So a little bit of damage to the cars up front there, and a blown engine for the 78. Looks like a missed shift.
Yeah, that's what it is, and that can happen. Over-rev that thing, miss the shift, and next thing you know, boom, it's just like a dynamite, and it'll make a huge racket here. Unfortunate on him. Well, that let the front three trucks take off there, which will be Justin Fuller, Michael Guest, Pedro Mega. But behind them, we're back at it again. 2x2 stacked up group back here with Nicholas Cohan sitting in ninth. Byron Daly. Yeah, we were talking about him last week. Byron Daly right there in 8th spot. Scott Formosa 7th. Steve Gottschalk right there. He's a man right there in 6th. We was talking about it. Mike Kelly and Bobby Terrell. They're in 10th and 11th.
And I think when they got all that congestion on the bottom line from Brett McBride having that misshift on the start, gave a lot of these guys on the outside a real lane to just shoot through. Kind of like when you get lucky in traffic and you're in that line that just moves, that lane. And so Malik Ray, I mean, he restarted about 15th, 16th, 14th, something like that. He's up to 5th.
Wow, Malik Ray definitely on the charge here, bringing it to the front. Well, we got a battle for the lead right there. Michael Guest looking on the inside. He has to fall back in line in the tire tracks. Justin Fuller, but he is back there like stalking his prey as they head off into the turn. That number 74 machine here, Harrison, is looking like he wants to take that lead back. He found something out on the last run, and he wants to use it this time around.
He's definitely being more aggressive this run. He might have thought, you know what, I was a little bit too conservative last run. You see him running way high, though, in this one. The 48 Omega gets underneath him side by side on the front stretch, but that was a real high line for Guest. Seems a little bit early in the run, but, he might know better than we do, but there's a caution out, or better than I do, excuse me. But big wreck on the front stretch back here.
We'll see if we can't get to see who's involved. Iracing took me back to E.J. O'Rourke. Is he involved in that?
Looks like it starts at the number 80. Number 80. Yeah, the wreck starts at 7th. It was the battle between the number 80 of Scott Formosa and the 06 of Byron Daly.
Wow. All right, well, let's see right here on the replay here. We're going to see how everything got messed up there. Yeah, the 78 just, boom. Chad Coleman tried to get out of the way. It stacked that whole field up back there. We'll ride along here with the 80 of Scott Formosa. KBB.com machine. Well, he's in the middle of a 3-wide battle right there on that restart. As they're coming in here, I probably went back just a little bit too far, but hey, that's all right. Better far enough than not at all, really.
Yeah, right as they were coming to lap 34, I think what happened was a lot of guys are going to the underneath the white line on the front stretch. Byron Daly was straddling that white line, and Scott Formosa was above him. and came down into Byron. I think he might have been expecting Byron to be under the white line, or he just didn't have the call from the spotter, didn't know Byron was underneath him. But Formosa comes to the left, Byron was there, and a lot of guys just had nowhere to go. A lot of damage. Chad Coleman, a lot of damage to his truck.
Yeah, we're still watching here. I went back just a teeny bit further than I should, but hey, that's all right. It'll catch up here in a second. Let the viewers see. Everybody likes crashes, you know. We don't want to see it because it takes guys out of the race, but the viewers out there, hey, they come to see what's that old saying about the circle track racing NASCAR? Come see the wrecks.
And you know what? Even if you're not a fan of the wrecks, you're always trying to tune in just to see what happened, because this has a big effect on the races.
Yes, it does. You see right here, like I said, we're still watching this 80 machine here. He's got the 06 coming up on his back. Decorated Brian Daly right there as they come to the line. You see them start the battle here. We're about to see probably what we're going to see on this caution here. Hey, what's going on, Max? How you doing out there? David, watching the replay here on what's going on with the caution. Got Brian Daly right there. Yeah, he comes out. He storms on the inside, what you said. They go door to door. And it's Scott for most of the 80 machine right there. And I think it's just going to be a matter. He just pushed up into him. Unfortunate happening where it happened. Like you said, oh yeah, they just got together. And then, like you said, the unfortunate part, nowhere for anybody else to go. Wham. Well, it was just a parking lot. Looked like Martinsville this past weekend.
You know who might be a great truck if you could ride along with him? Chad Cole dove into the grass, the number 8. Barely missed that wreck. I mean, there were a lot of trucks who got damaged there. And so I see Glenn Campbell involved, the 5 of Thomas George involved, Pascarella, the 77 involved. All these guys, it started inside the top 10, so a lot of competitive trucks taken out in that one.
Yeah, I hate to see that. They definitely are a lot of competitive ones out here. Well, still Justin Fuller out front here with Michael Guest sitting in second. Pedro Mega bringing a mega machine right there in third place. Tim Matthews right there in fourth. Malik Ray, like you said, pulling it up in the fifth. Rounds our top 5. Want to appreciate everybody out there. What's going on? We got Max Speed TV out there himself. It's old Rudy. Looking good. John Marine's out there. David, just to name a few. Can't name them all, but hey, definitely want to appreciate each and every one of you coming out here tonight, because we're live at Las Vegas Speedway here for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. And what I tell you, some guys gambled back there, but didn't pay off for some of them. And unfortunately, hey, I got to bring this up, Harrison. No fast fixes here, so a lot of these trucks, one and done.
Yeah, it just makes it that much more important to avoid making mistakes. Atlanta, we saw plenty of mistakes. We saw Malik Ray make a mistake. We saw Pedro go up to the lead, make a mistake. Guys costing themselves wins because you make that mistake. That's the one chance you get.
Yep, absolutely. The one shot you got, and that's usually how it is. So you got to be able to make it work, and got to be able to make it the right shot out here. Because these guys, man, go off the old adage of it's real. I mean, and that's how they like it here at Sim500. Got a lot of leagues I do here lately are getting away from the fast fix deal. I kind of like it because I think it kind of calms the driver down. You have to have a different mentality coming out here driving, knowing that, well, if this thing, man, gets in a bad wreck, I mean, obviously sometimes you can't avoid them, but if you get in a bad wreck yourself or overdrive your truck, mess something up, you're out of the race.
I definitely agree. It takes away some of the needless risks that maybe some drivers would take earlier on. I certainly have seen an effect with it, just like you have, and I think it's a good thing. It might be why we went 23 laps green at the start. Might be why we went 100 laps green at Bristol or whatever it was. It certainly has an effect. Absolutely.
Well, definitely. We're about set here to go back green flag racing here again, folks. When they cross that line, it's going to be lap 39, of 120. And Justin Fuller, we call him the popcorn man out there. Got the popcorn machine popping high tonight. And he's eating for live here as he's got Michael Guest right on the outside. Pedro Mega, though, hang on to it. He'll bring the Mega machine to the front, and he has. He's going to try to bring it to the leads. Pace cars heading in. We'll take that hard left turn off on pit road. Here we go. Justin Fuller's going to put the hammer down. I say put the metal pedal to the floor, and he does. Takes off. Michael Guest doesn't, but Malik Ray, look at that. Dials on the inside, going to try to take that spot away. He's in the grass.
Through the grass. 3 wide through the grass. He loses a little bit of momentum through that, but my God, that could have been worse. And he's going to come out of there looking like he's going to reach for second place coming out of turn number 2 here. Still side by side. Mega running him tight down the back straightaway. Michael Guest not sure which way to go. But Malik Ray, he started 33rd, 32nd, working on second place now.
Yeah, line, I tell you what, bringing the Skittle machine to the front, goes door to door, slamming a little bit with Pedro Mega. They're still going to trade paint coming to the line this time by as they come across it. It's lap 40 of 120. They still door to door, neck and neck in the turn 1. You got one machine, a Malik Ray in low. You got Pedro Mega up high. Who's going to take that second spot as they go down the bad stretch?
You can see the trust they have for each other, because I don't think we've seen anyone running each other closer door to door, like just like they did there. But that's contact. The 48 gets sent up the track, able to avoid the wall. But that was a situation there. Malik was trying to take him off his game and force him higher on the track, and force him he did. Now Malik Ray's right at the leader, going above Justin Fuller, that 51 popcorn machine, trying to use the high side to get the lead.
Yeah, he does. Looks on the high side, got that nose just right there. Might be enough to make Justin have to pull down on the inside. They will go door to door again, heading into turn 3. Malik Ray's going for the lead here. He came from way back. Man said I started from the bottom, now I'm here. And he is coming out of 4. He's going to try to cross the line. Drag race to the line. Be lap 42 of 120. I'm going to tell you, these guys are driving like it's the last lap.
And I tell you, if that was the last lap, Justin Fuller would have won that by 100th of a second. No, we're not bracket racing. We're not John Force and Courtney Force and Ron Capps. We're running trucks around Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Malik Ray still working on the outside of Justin Fuller, trying to just dives into turn number 3, trying to carry that momentum on the high side. And I tell you, I like that high side in the side-by-side battle, because I feel like the front or the bottom only has so much for so long. But Fuller doing a masterful job of running that low side right now. Might actually clear him.
Yes, he does. Clears him. What a power move right there by Justin Fuller, showing some muscle up front in that 51 as he takes it to the lead. As Malik Ray has to drop back in the second. Now he's got to worry about the momentum of the 74. Michael Guest pulling up on him. And then, hey, he's got to think about it in the back of his mind. As the 48 get back up there, well, they go duking it out again.
A lot of action up front here. A little bit single files. They try to, Malik Ray trying to gather his marbles, make another attempt at the lead there. Michael Guest, you know, he's been watching this lead battle from third, and he's been able to kind of run at his own pace, watching them just battle for that lead, a very heated battle. And so you get the sense of 74's running his own pace, Fuller's racing hard, Malik's racing hard. I think Pedro Mega, he might be driving with a little bit of heat after getting run up the track by the number 1 of Malik Ray.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, he's still holding his own right there in a boxing match. Hey, we are in Vegas. Definitely like gambling. You always have big fights, big fight feel here tonight. These guys got 3,400-pound monster trucks out here as Malik Ray's going to try it one more time. He pulls back up to the back tailgate there to have a tailgate party with the 51. As they come out of turn 2 down the back stretch, they'll still go nose to tail down that time as, wow, he is closing the gap in on the leader.
Yeah, and I don't know what you get when you combine popcorn and Skittles, but we're about to find out in this one.
A colorful popcorn, I guess.
That's a combination of flavors that might not work, but they're trying to make it work. Malik, though, not side-by-side with him yet. Kind of looks like he has a little bit more speed of that number 1 Skittles machine, running a little bit lower line, and that's something we see here in Vegas, especially in turn 1. Seems like early on, 3 and 4 likes the bottom a little bit more, but in 1 and 2, you see the mark to the bottom there in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, there's really a lot of creativity in choosing where to place those trucks, but it looks like Fuller is sliding a little bit when compared to that number 1 Skittles machine. Malik Ray is just trying to size him up and decide where to go with the run.
Yeah, he is right there, and he's right there on his back deck lid, trying to do everything he can. You're right. Hey, what's that old saying? Catching and passing is 2 different things. Right now, Malik Ray can catch him. Passing him is another thing. He's got to figure out a way to get around him. And as the run goes on, we've seen it before, Harrison. It looks like that high groove. Now they've kind of went down to the low groove. They're going to try to follow and find where the groove is throughout this whole entire race.
Yeah, and last week, the drivers who were up there battling for that lead both said it. They were shocked at just how much Bristol changed. And, you know, we've seen it all season long. When you get a lot of trucks on one track, the weather's right, it changes a lot. And I think another thing that might be factoring in these guys' minds right now, I think they realize, you know what, we were battling that hard on lap 40. It's a 120 lap race. We can afford to back it down a little bit, try to get that long run speed going, because It definitely seems to have calmed down up front, at least for now, but it won't be for long.
Absolutely not. Well, you still got Steve right there running in the 7th spot behind him. Thomas George, look at that, bringing it on up. And then Jose Gonzalez. I hope I said that right. Is that right, in 8th spot?
Oh, I'm sure. Jose Gonzalez. He's been, we've seen him for a while, but I don't think we've seen him in this series.
Wow. Well, when I first saw it, I thought the first thing that came to my mind, you might laugh at this one, Speedy Gonzalez.
Oh, and I think he has, I don't know if he has Speedy Gonzalez on that truck, but, that's what a lot of people know him as, so that works.
Absolutely. Well, he's definitely got some speed because he's come from 23rd position all the way up tonight. So Jose definitely out there doing some awesome things. Although he just lost a spot right there to Thomas George, just made that pass on him for the 8th spot. But he's still right there running in 9th place. He's got the 14th as, hey, look who's right there in the 10th spot, Joey Katina. He said I was talking to him before the race here, Harrison. He was kind of pumped up about here. He said he felt good about his truck, felt good about the setup, felt good about how the track was. He said, watch out, he might be at the front for the end of this one.
And I tell you, started 24th up into the top 10. Clearly missed, or he either missed that wreck on the front stretch or didn't get much damage at all. But I did not see him involved in that other wreck. Right now, he's looking underneath that 26 of Jose Gonzalez. That Sim500 Toyota Tundra gonna make his way into 9th.
Absolutely, bringing it to the front. Joey Katina making waves in that Sim500 machine. Talk about Sim500. You're watching the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series here, folks, in the trucks, and it's a good one so far at Las Vegas Speedway here. Well, these guys might have flying. You're right, John. Got a truck with smoking out there. Couldn't tell which one it was. He headed off in the pits. Luckily, no caution came out. But that number 14 of Joey Katina, he's in a battle right now. Got Jose behind him, and in front of him got old Thomas George.
Yeah, George seemed to be fading a little bit. Not sure if he's... I thought that he might have had some damage on that wreck on the front stretch, but it doesn't appear to be affecting his straightaway speed if he has any. I started wondering if he was losing a little bit of straightaway speed. A bit hard to tell right now. All I know is that 14 of Joey Katina looks quite a bit faster right now as he pulls right up to George coming onto the back straightaway exiting turn number 2. Katina looks low, decides better, thinks better of it entering turn number 3 here, gives up a little bit of time, but that 14 truck gets a little bit loose actually right there, but seems to be coming for that 5 of George.
Yeah, he does. He got the momentum going down the bad stretch. Had to let up a little bit because he didn't have the line going into the turn right there. But he's still trying to pull it up there. Behind him, Jose. And then right behind him, Paul Nicholas Cooper. Don't count him out. Man's got the 18 machine rolling. And Bobby Wetzel right there along with him.
Yeah, I saw Paul Cooper running in the 20s not long ago. He qualified 17th. Cooper running about 11th right now, battling with Bobby Wetzel in that number 9 machine. Those Exxon colors, reminiscent of Rowdy Burns. I was like, if I forget this guy's name right now, Rowdy Burns.
Yeah, that's a good old movie there, Days of Thunder.
Yeah, I certainly see a decent bit of that here in Iracing with the Days of Thunder colors represented. Jose Gonzalez fading backwards a little bit to my surprise, but Paul Cooper in the 18's been working underneath him. Looks like Paul Cooper has a little bit more speed than that 26 truck, but, accomplishing a pass on the bottom seems to be a bit tough. You just have to get out of the gas that little bit more. You don't have the room on exit. The 26 of Gonzalez able to clear Cooper down the front stretch, but Cooper gets in front of the 9, who he was side-by-side with not long ago, so at least a net gain for the 18. He's moving forward.
Yeah, it is, and you're talking about the inside groove as we get along here for a long green flag run. Again, like we had at the beginning of the run, the beginning of the race here, you're starting to see that inside groove. The guys can't hold it down there like they did before, and that's what we're seeing with the 18. But he did make that pass, and Jose's right there, and he's pulling up on Joey Katina, so it'll be interesting to see if he can go on the inside. Get that high groove there, though. Might be a different subject, but we'll see if he'll try to dive down the inside, because it looks like the middle groove right now, everybody's kind of settling into it, maybe like one groove up from the bottom.
Yeah, it's kind of like when they're taking solo laps, they want to run a little bit lower than the ideal if they were in a side-by-side battle. So that you see them doing these huge arcs into the corner, but the middle has so much speed that it could just hold somebody off on the bottom. But definitely seen that a little bit more of running lower in 1 and 2 as the farther we've gone here. Occasionally you see people just kind of run the dead middle of the racetrack there going through 3 and 4, but just a big arc through 1 and 2. Joey Catino just in front of Cooper just was a perfect example of that. They're entering really high in turn 1, bringing it down slowly, just try to prevent getting tight coming out of turn number 2.
Yeah, we're seeing a perfect example right now as Paul Nicholas right there on the inside of that man on the outside of him, Jose Gonzalez. Just can't quite get the pass done on the inside. He can hold with him side by side, but then he has to fall back in line behind him, cool those tires down, because if not, he'll get them hot and you end up sliding that thing around and then end up into the wall like we saw E.J. O'Rourke early on in here. Well, we're single file out here a little bit, Harrison, and that's a good run so far here at the Las Vegas Speedway, because up front, well, Malik Ray's back at it again, trying it on old Justin Fuller.
Yeah, that lead battle's heating up. Also heating up the 51. Justin Fuller's rear tires was sideways coming out of turn 4, and that was all the green light that Malik needed to try to make a run at the lead here, but he gets a little bit sideways coming out of turn 2, trying to keep himself off of that 51 truck. But look at that, too. The 74, Michael Guest joining the fray.
Yeah, it is. 3-truck battle up front. This is for the lead. The number 1 of Malik Ray, he's on the inside. He is flirting with disaster on that inside because he gets very close to the 51, and they are right there inches upon each other as they head off into 1. They still go door to door.
Fuller way high in 1 and 2 trying to carry that outside, but the Malik Ray able to clear him coming out of turn 2. Fuller crosses over, tries the bottom this time. Malik's going to be on the high side this time, but I think Malik's going to run him a little bit tight here in 3 and 4. That Skittles machine just trying to hold on to the lead. Fuller drives deep into turn 3, starts sliding up the racetrack. Not clear, though. Gets sideways to keep it off on Malik Ray. That's going to allow the 74 to get alongside.
Yeah, that was close right there, Harrison. I was watching that battle there as he got the momentum on the high side coming in, and then the next thing you know, you just got to have that high side to let that truck scoot up. Is he going to be able to slide across the nose of Michael? Yes, he is. Wow, that was close.
Yeah, Guest looked to cross him over. Didn't have quite the run that he thought he would have, but drives into turn number 3. Has to slow down on the bottom a little bit more than Fuller has, but ooh, look at Fuller. He's starting to get a little bit looser coming through 3 and 4 especially. That's where we saw E.J. O'Rourke lose control earlier. Have to wonder if it's just going to get worse from here for Fuller's right rear tire.
Yeah, once you burn that right rear, it's usually hard to get that thing back because you've already abused it right now. So it's probably throughout this run, he's probably begging for tires. He's just got to do the best he can to hang on to it. But Malik Ray, look at that, bringing it to the front. Man, started way back in the back of this one. Justin Fuller still sitting in second. He's got his hands full with the 74, and he comes out of that turn. They both do sideways. Michael Guest in the wall hard.
Oh, that's a big mistake for that 74 as the 54 narrowly avoids him. You saw Michael Guest get loose, overcorrect up the track into the wall hard, and I tell you, if I was a gambling man, I'd put money on the 74 not winning this race now, because that damage is going to be really hard to come back from.
Yeah, what we saw right there, I think he was just trying to check up. We saw that Justin Fuller got loose coming out, and he saw it, and I think he was just trying to make an evasive move, so he didn't get into him. And when he did, his truck snapped up underneath him, and when it did, he just overcorrected and just slammed that wall hard and just tore that whole right side of that 74 machine up.
Yeah, that was a perfect storm. He started getting a tiny bit loose. Fuller in front of him got loose, and it's that situation where you have to adjust, and you make that adjustment, but it just doesn't stick. Sometimes, you're just in a spot where, that's a tough deal coming out of turn 4. Having to correct so late in the corner puts you in a bad spot. And Justin Fuller, the 51's going to take it to pit road in front of him. The 74, Michael Guest, with all that right side damage, keeps it on the racetrack, at least for now. I think he's going to ride this one out for as long as he can. And partially because, in the points, he's won 2 races, but it's been an inconsistent year, so he needs some valuable points.
And you're right, and if he goes in now, this could be a damaging part in points, as we still got 20 machines on the lead lap right now. And if you want to look even further back, you've got 3 other machines or 4 of the machines that are only a lap down, so he could drop all the way back to in the 20s here for this one's over with that kind of damage. He could go in there, he's praying, well, we don't want to see it, but he's probably praying for a caution to maybe get some of that optional done and maybe get that truck repaired a little bit there. Hopefully drivable or more drivable than what it is out there, because points are at a premium for him here. He's still got time to bounce back from this. Obviously got a couple wins so far, but that was a hard lick right there on that right side.
Yeah, and he's faded to about 7th and certainly running slower lap times than a lot of the cars, trucks that he's been around right now. But Justin Fuller pulled it into the garage, called it a night. So the 51 certainly going to lose some points in this one. A winner earlier in the year at Daytona. Last week I said Talladega, I think, but we haven't been to Talladega this season. It's been Daytona.
And I'm wondering on Justin Fuller's part, because he didn't tap the wall up there, Harrison. So I don't know if something maybe went amiss of the truck. He's having some technical issues. Something might get up. I also see Paul Nicholas Cooper's another one that just died out there too. And he was up there in the 18 machine.
You know what? Paul Cooper, I had to go back and watch this. Cooper just got really loose at a turn 4, hit the wall, and I think he got off the track quick enough to not bring out a caution. No caution for Cooper, but Cooper got into the wall really hard on the front stretch. Didn't know until you mentioned him going to the garage, but that's what happened to Cooper.
Oh, okay. Well, and we know it happened to Fuller up there. It got loose, but I didn't see him make contact with the wall. Not like Michael Guest did. Michael, he tore the side of that thing also. Don't know if something might have messed up later on in the run. I did see Justin Fuller come on down into pit road. I don't know, maybe if he just had some technical issues, something we might get up after the race or something like that, or maybe just find out maybe throughout the race. And it's unfortunate to see because he had a bad fast number 51 up front.
Yeah, he was up there the whole race in that lead battle, and I did see him after the turn 4 where he was extremely loose. It looked like he just kept getting looser, and he might have said, you know what, I'm going to wash my hands of this one, because I don't think there's a better explanation right now. He was really fighting it before he came into pit road completely sideways, and I think he parked it for handling reasons.
Yeah, and we got a few trucks that's out of this one. Obviously Brian Daly got involved in the wreck, Scott Formosa, Rick McBride, Steve Minson there, Lewis, was that Robinette? Lewis Robinette, all right, James Pescarella, and obviously the newest ones here, Justin Fuller and Paul Nicholas Cooper, all out of this one right now. Unfortunately, some big names right there, unfortunately, out of this one early.
Yeah, and this creates a situation, especially with that big wreck on the front stretch, all that attrition kind of, we started the race with a 26, 27 lap green flag run. You take a few trucks out. Now it's even easier to run those green flag laps. Takes a little bit of the pressure off of the number 1 of Malik Ray for right now, though, because he doesn't have those people hounding on his bumper. And as he goes by Chad Coleman, who's going another lap down, Malik Ray was really sideways coming out of turn 4 a second ago, and so it looks like the track has gotten a lot looser, the trucks especially. They're just turning loose here as we get longer on these tires, which are a bit surprising because I've seen some guys get tight, but a lot of these guys getting very loose on older tires.
Well, we started seeing that with that big long green flag run at the beginning of the race, and they were in about the 20th right there before the caution when EJ lost his, but the caution came out. Some of these guys were starting to get very loose, fighting these trucks on the rear side of it. We are dealing with a kind of a hot track here, which normally you would think hot track, slick track. On iRacing, it's usually kind of backwards. Hot track, tight track, cold track, slick track. I never understood that logic, but kind of how it works here.
Yeah, it really has been like that, and certainly something that these drivers have to kind of know the game for, know the service for, to kind of predict what's going to happen. Sometimes it catches you off guard just because it's different than you would expect. For now, though, Malik Ray's lap times look pretty good. One of the trucks who looks also very good inside the top 5, Mike Kelly, number 2. He started 29th. He's trying to pass the 54 of Tim Matthews for second right now. That's been a side-by-side battle for a little while. Mike Kelly had a great long-run speed at Atlanta in that race that Chad Coleman won. And the 2, Mike Kelly gets into second. 54 gets back on the outside of that 2 truck, but Kelly, great long-run speed, so I'm looking out for him right now.
Yeah, it is. You're definitely right. Got the Tonka machine out there running high as he's battling it out for the second spot. He'll go side by side there with old Tim Matthews. Tim Matthews up high trying to pull it on. It looks like the man right there in the Tonka machine, Mike Kelly, makes the pass, scoops it up there in the second spot in front of the 54. They head off in the back stretch into turn number 3. I think we got, we're in the caution.
57's destroyed. Not sure if he's the original cause of the incident. I'm kind of backing up the replay to see what happened, but
Yeah, me too.
you know what happened? He got run into by a truck that had pitted. Pedro
Ouch.
Mega, the Mega machine had 4 fresh tires, was flying through these trucks, got into the 50s. It was a miscommunication. I think Mega was expecting the room, and it wasn't there.
All right, well, let's watch it here on the replay here. Let the viewers see. You're right. Old Pedro Mega got the four tires there. Yeah, he went 3 wide. That looks like some net code there, too, involved. I don't know if you saw that on your end there, Harrison. This looks like when they got there side by side, the truck went around. Just unfortunate, one of them racing deals there. And like you said, the 57 of Nicholas Cohan destroyed on the truck going to end his night.
Yeah, it's a tough deal because when you're on that strategy where you pit before guys, but before a lot of the field does, you're trying to take advantage of those fresh tires. And, there's a lot of people who see fresh tires in their mirror and they just automatically run that higher groove. And so there's Pedro Mega, there's a really good chance he was anticipating them all to run that high groove and he drove it into turn 1 kind of expecting it. Obviously, that's not what happened. So they met, and he just caught the left side of Nick Cohan's rear bumper and spun him out. And that's a tough break because Cohan didn't do anything wrong. It was kind of just a miscommunication.
Yep. Well, everybody coming into pit road, we were starting to see a few green flag pit stops there. We had a pretty long green flag run, but everybody here on pit road, and the battle off pit road looks like it's going to be won by Malik Ray. Barely there, but the Tonka machine there, Mike Kelly, he was battling him.
Yeah, Mike Kelly, as we're 18 laps past halfway in this one already, that 2 truck, he's a player. We haven't seen him for a lot of the race until we had this longer green flag run. He was able to just drive right up there, but a lot of speed from that 2 truck, and now we'll get to see what he can do with it, being able to start right up with Malik Ray instead of playing catch-up.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be interesting. Got Jason Swan out there, but I think he's just going to get some laps run under green or so forth. Hey, John, you asked a question out there. You're right. We're live here tonight. Las Vegas Speedway here for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series here in the trucks. And we're live here, OSRNetwork, YouTube, Twitch, and yes, Iracing Live. And again, I want to appreciate them guys out there, hitting us out there on the portal and showcasing this league here, the Sim500. So far, been a good one. Definitely some big names got in trouble. One notably, Michael Guest slamming the outside wall. Justin Fuller, he's out of this one tonight. Paul Nicholas Cooper right there. Brian Daly, Scott Formosa's another one. So just a lot of guys, again, having some troubled nights here.
Yeah, and if you look at Byron Daly, he qualified 25th, and he took laps in practice and he put a legit qualifying effort together. And so I think Byron is just kind of feeling bad about his qualifying effort, thinking if only I had started up front, I probably wouldn't have been in that position to get in that wreck. But that's just one of the things that you really battle in a league with a big field of good drivers is it's not easy to just qualify up front, even though some of these guys make it look easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and as fast as these trucks are, as close as they are as speed goes, you're right. It definitely it's tough, man, to get up there and have good qualifying runs. But Malik Ray is the one that's been I'm going to say it, probably the most impressive here today. He's brought that thing way from the back up here to the front. Just to give you an idea, folks. 32nd place, and he's leading this one. That's an incredible jump to the front.
Yeah, and really one of the race highlights for me was watching, well, it was unfortunately when Rhett McBride missed that shift, but it was watching Malik Ray take advantage of that. He went from about 15th to 6th over the course of 2-3 laps. He just dove to that outside and made quick use of a bunch of trucks that had slowed down for that. And so a great restart is a big part of why Malik Ray was able to get to the lead as quickly as he did. He's a driver not afraid to take risks and make some gambles, roll the dice.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you got to do here. We're in Vegas. Roll the dice a lot of times, and he did. And old Steve Gottschalk right there. He's sitting in 5th. Thomas George is another one in 4th. Around out to top 5 right there. Tim Matthews in 3rd. You got Mike Kelly in 2nd. Malik Ray. So a whole new different set of players up front here. And nonetheless, these guys can get it. And I'm going to tell you, look at there in 8th spot, E.J. O'Rourke. Man, caught up in a wreck earlier on. He's going to move it back up to top 10.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. And Steve Gottschalk, who you just mentioned, he was directly in front of Byron Daly when that wreck broke out. So he's happy with his qualifying effort to keep him out front of that. But EJ, I can't believe he's back up there after that spin.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely going to bounce back. Keep your eye on him right here as we're coming out. The pace car comes out of turn 4. Going to take that hard left turn on pit road. Duck off here. Going to let Malik Ray and the Skittle machine up front take off. And he does. Puts a hammer down. Green flag in the air. Going to be 42 to go when they cross the line. Him and Mike Kelly and the Tonka machine behind him gets a good run. Tim Matthews right there on the inside. He'll go door to door with Thomas George. He'll take that spot. They'll go single file up front. And you got to look back there. They're single file all the way back to like the top. I'm going to say about 8th or 9th.
Yeah, and there were about 14, 15 on the lead lap. 5 trucks or so took the wave around. Very interested in seeing how that Tonka machine, that number 2, works here. How he manages his tires, because we've spoken to him during these races and after these races, and he talks about tire management. The 54, Tim Matthews, though, goes above him on the front stretch. I think the 54 is looking to get to the lead quickly and see what he can do with it, because he drives way deep into turn number 1. He might be making a move here on Malik Ray before long, but that Tim Matthews in a second.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what. Oh, Nick Cohan's crazy. They said, who let Hamlin, and I think he's referring to Denny Hamlin past Martinsville, who led Hamlin into 48 tonight. But we got a battle for the lead. Look at the power move by Tim Matthews going to the front. Wow, and he makes it on the high side there. What a move on the high side to take the lead away from Malik Ray.
And what's interesting about this is we took the green at about lap 80. It's a 40-lap run of the checkers there. Don't think we're going to see any pit stops. So I think some of these guys might be thinking about their tires, their long-run speed. Tim Matthews going out there, though, but he might be able to, run fast enough, even running hard early. We saw Justin Fuller try that earlier. Just get out there and try to build some distance so that you have that cushion when people have faster tires at the end, trying to be far enough ahead of them that they don't have enough time to catch you.
And you know what? I think you hit the nail on the head right there. Might be what Malik Ray's thinking about here. If I save just a little bit of tire, be able to run him down. But then again, Tim Matthews is thinking, well, if I can get far enough away from him, even if I start losing ground later on, he won't have enough time to catch me. So it's kind of a catch-22 here. He's still out front behind him. Mike Kelly. Got Malik Ray in 3rd. And up right, look at Jose Gonzalez. We were talking about him. Well, I said he was Speedy Gonzalez. Well, he's definitely found some speed. And now he's sitting in 4th spot.
Yeah, never underestimate the power of a caution to change momentum for these drivers or change the complexion of a race. Gives you an opportunity, kind of like a second chance. You don't have, I was saying earlier, you don't have second chances with these cars or with these trucks fixing that damage, but you do if a caution comes out in a way. And so Gonzalez right on the back of that number 1 of Malik Ray. You can see him really driving it in, nearly catching the wall out of turn 4, keeps the 26 truck off of it, but right on top of Malik Ray, probably trying to force him to drive a little bit harder than he wants to, but looks like he's going low to look for that pass.
That is. You know what that was? That was a textbook guy following the spoiler in front of him. I've done it a many a times when I was iRacing a lot. You get so close to a guy in front of you, and you'll follow him right into the wall wearing the caution.
Ooh, and it started right around the 00. 00 Don Runkle Jr.
All right. Look for him there. And 00. The Don Runkle. Okay.
Don Runkle Jr. It was right past the start-finish line as we started this lap, and he was side-by-side with Bobby Wetzel. And looks like the two had a disagreement over space. The 00 was on the outside, the 9 was on the inside, and I think the 9 thought the 00 was going to be higher on the track, and then Runkle, who is that 00, came careening off that outside wall, and the number 6 of Jonathan Lockhart, if my memory serves me correctly. Yeah, Jonathan Lockhart, just a real innocent victim in this thing, so that's a tough break for that number 6. He went for a ride.
Yeah, watching here on the replay here, you're right. The 9 and the 0, yeah, they got together right there. Went up in the wall. The 00 just came right down in front of the 6. And then the 6 got turned over like a soda can. And it just ensued from there. A bunch of trucks behind them. Just a couple other ones there involved. Just unfortunate. this place closes up very fast, like, in a hurry.
Yeah, it's a wide racetrack, but at the end of the day, you're splitting your time between one of 3 lanes, and so it's when a wreck breaks out, especially on corner entry, you don't really have that room to slow it down very much. You're entering these corners at a high rate of speed, so it comes at you fast.
Absolutely. Well, under caution, like I said, yep. I mean, it's been like we've had some long green flag runs, and then we'll have a caution, and it's almost kind of like, well, the caution comes out due to the fact of these guys are getting very, very loose out there. And when you get loose, obviously these trucks, you just don't know, and they just snap out from under you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's still, if we go green from here to the end, that'll still be a factor. That looseness that develops over the course of runs. So I was half listening to a little bit of radio traffic. Don Runkle obviously not happy at all with that incident, and they're having a discussion about it. But with 30 laps to go, if we go green from here, looseness will be a factor. But also, we've taken a little bit of time off of that. We've removed some laps. That gives people more of an opportunity to jump out to that lead and really push hard to try to hold people off. So we're going to see more aggression up front now.
Yep, absolutely. Well, up front, though, I think once the waiver rounds happen there, Tim Matthews is going to be the man up front along with Mike Kelly there. Malik Ray should be around it. E.J. O'Rourke still up there. Wow, impressive after earlier on hitting the wall and spinning very early, bringing out the first caution earlier on. Look at that. Joey Katina still up front. Hang on to it. He said he was coming to the front in a hurry. And there's Michael Guest. He is still around there, going to be in the top 10, so he has gotten some of that damage. Might come out of here with a good points night.
Yeah, that's, if he comes out of here with a top 10 finish with the truck as damaged as it is on the right side, I think he would take it, even though he's not very happy with himself or the situation he has found himself in. But he needs more of these runs. He needs his bad runs to be 8th place, 10th place, things like that. And we're going to go green with 30 to go, and things can change from here. But it looks like we have about 18 trucks on the lead lap, and I don't know. We'll see if the 74 can hang into that top 10. Right behind Joey Katina right now.
Absolutely. Well, I always say we're getting close to the point where business is about to pick up. Run what you brung, and hope you brought enough here tonight for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. Well, Harrison, are you having fun here in Vegas?
Oh, I'm having a good time.
Man, I am too. It's been a really good race. It's been very entertaining here to watch these guys with the moves they've been able to take. And hey, a lot better driver than I am, because I would have took out half the field.
Well, I would pay to see that.
All right, come on now. I probably got some video in the archive somewhere.
Yeah, I've got a few moments of shame for myself too, but that might be why I'm here talking.
Yeah, I finally said, well, heck with it, and hung it up. Came up here. It's a lot safer to be up here than it is out there. Nerve-wracking is a lot of the words I use, because these guys, they do some phenomenal things. And there is no shortage in talent in this field. I mean, I can't sit here and name off just one guy really out of this whole field. I mean, obviously you could pick out probably some of the guys that are up front a lot of the times, but still, it's talent packed here. Strength of field is what iRacing uses a lot of. And if you look through some of these names, it's a who's who. And it's definitely interesting. But they are battling a tricky track. I mean, the track, they said even's good, but we're seeing that truck's getting very loose as the run goes on.
Yeah, that's the thing I really like about these big tracks lately, is how much it changes. Just seeing it become harder and harder to drive and watch them struggle with it and struggle to hang on to it. Malik Ray especially, loose all the way in the lead. Tim Matthews just took the lead, though, and I tell you, Matthews is leading them down. Mike Kelly, and also on the front row, Malik's going to have to work from third. And how about E.J. O'Rourke, my God, in fourth?
Wow. Being able to bounce back like that is it's going to be interesting to see what he can do on this start here. As pace cars in, Tim Matthews hammers it down. Malik Ray right there behind him. And you're right, E.J. O'Rourke powering it all the way back to fourth place, as he's going to follow that Tonka machine and see if he can't get even more here as he goes up high. He's got the number 5 on the inside. Let's see if he's going to lose it a little bit on that high side. The inside is going to be the place to be, as Jose, he comes storming down the back stretch on the inside of him.
Yeah, and I think that 41 truck has a little bit too much damage to really compete for this win. He's probably just looking to capitalize on cautions and track position, as he's definitely doesn't have the speed of the trucks that he's around right now. Steve Gottschalk in that 91 working underneath him. EJ running way high, just not the straightaway speed and giving a lot of room to these competitors.
You know what? I think that's the good thing. Good sportsmanship on his end to understand the truck's hurt. Got out of the way, went a little high right there to let those guys on the inside go. He let Steve go right there. Brian Boris Cook, another one, been on a bounce back, was here earlier. But up front, we got a battle for the lead. Malik Ray looking on the inside, the 54. They'll go neck and neck. Coming out of turn, they almost touched coming out of 4. They're going to race it to the line here. That would have been the end of it. I think the 54 would have had him by inches.
Yeah, another 100th of a second advantage to the 54, but advantage to Malik Ray in turns 1 and 2 here. He drives it in, clears him, slides right up, loses no time exiting turn 2. Great corner for that one truck. And I was wondering how this restart would go, because we saw Tim Matthews so aggressive on that last one. Looks like Malik, though, decided to turn it up a notch, get a little bit more aggressive on this one, but he's not pulling away from that 54 yet. Tim Matthews looking for a lane high.
Yeah, he is. It looks like the number 1 turned the wick up. I got a feeling what he did that last run, he thought it would go green, and so he was saving some tires like we were talking about. This time, with 20-something to go, 27 to go to be exact, as they come down the back stretch, he says it's go time now. Might as well. Got 4 fresh tires on this thing. Let's just run them and burn them to the ground now. And he's doing a good job with the Skittle machine out front. As they come out of 4, there'll be 26 to go this time by.
Yeah, and that Skittle machine not getting away from that 54 of Tim Matthews all over him. And if they get to racing, that'll bring the 2 truck even closer. But, well, the 2 truck looks like he's already here. Working the bottom is Mike Kelly. Kind of looking for that lane underneath Tim Matthews. Not quite able to keep the nose underneath that 54 truck. But that's a 3-truck battle for the lead right there. And, you know, Mike Kelly might be wanting it to go the whole way green, because that 2 truck had a lot of long run speed.
Yes, he did. Mike Kelly definitely got wet paint Tonka machine coming to the front. And he said, I'm going to try to bring this big Tonka truck up here. As he goes on the inside of the second place man there, Tim Matthews. He looks on the inside. He's got the new tires to do it. Now's the time to do that style move, because the later on you go in the run, those tires go away, harder to pass on the inside. Problem is, here comes Thomas George and company. He's bringing the speedy man himself, Jose Gonzalez right there along, and the other pack along with them. We got about 7 trucks up there about to battle.
And it makes it harder to really go on the bottom, because if you're not able to pull off that pass, they'll go right above you and try to take advantage of you being on the bottom. But Thomas George, the 5 truck, made that one easy. Goes to the bottom of Mike Kelly, so Kelly's running the middle here. Also trying to get the nose 3 wide out of turn number 2 underneath the 54, and the 5 has to back out.
Boy, 3 wide, don't know how well that's going to hold up. Held up right there that time. But as the tires get wore out here, Harris, that's going to be a tricky move to do. But the 26 goes on the high side. Here comes Steve Gottschalk right there. He's looking to bring the Nerf Mobile up here. And look who's in the mix again. In 6th spot, Pedro Mega Machine. He says, hello, fellas, I'm back.
Yeah, he took a wave around after that incident with... I can't remember who he got into, though. Nick Cohan. After he got into Nick Cohan, he took the wave around, has some front-end damage, but look at that speed. I am shocked that truck still has that speed in it, into the top 5.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you, Malik Ray's looking in his rearview mirror and going, say, hey, who brought the tailgate party? Who brought this party to my tailgate? Because these guys are all over it. We got a battle for the lead. The 54 dives on the inside. And behind them, they're all stacked up 2 by 2, double time coming out of the turn.
Yeah, Tim Matthews trying to use as much middle lane as he can on entry to carry more speed through the center, but Malik on the high side, able to clear Matthews on exit. Matthews goes to the high side, looks above. Jose Gonzalez creeping into the picture, that 26, that white truck, into 3rd, gets ahead of Mike Kelly. The 2 truck, though, looks above Jose. They're going to be side-by-side for 3rd and possibly side-by-side for the lead here. Now Malik Ray able to keep himself ahead of Matthews, but Mike Kelly hard into turn number 1. Jose with a lot of speed on the bottom, though, and this is just heating up.
Yeah, it is. We got Talladega at Las Vegas right now. These guys are nose to tail and a single file side by side. Also, Jose on the inside with a 26. And up top, he's got Mike Kelly. Pedro Megas on the inside. They come out of turn 4. Across the line will be 20 to go. They know business time is picking up. The 54's not giving up on the 1. And Malik Ray's battling for his life right now to try to stay out front. Wow, what a fight up front here in these trucks.
It's a tough spot for Malik Ray to be in. I mean, he's happy to be out front, but also when we went green with 30 to go, you probably want to save a little bit of tire. I mean, we're going to hit fall off here, so Malik wants to only run as hard as he has to, but they're making him run about as hard as he can. And so this is everyone's running pretty hard up here. The question is, who's saving their tires the best running this hard?
Well, I'm going to tell you what, if any of these guys thinking about saving tires right now, I don't see it. I don't know about you, Harrison, because they are definitely blistering the pace right now. As they come out of the turn, they still will go door to door down the bad stretch. You've got the 54 up high, Jose on the inside, the 2's up there, along with the 48. It's a who's who of a gang there. Now, Malik Ray's loving what he sees right there, because if they stay side by side, he can just pull away up front.
Yeah, he's loving the battles behind him, and as the truck slows down a little bit more and more throughout the run, I think we see the 54 Matthews just running higher and higher. That's not what everyone's doing, but that's what Matthews doing, and right now, it's a good defensive line because people really haven't been able to complete the pass on the bottom. Mike Kelly's still side by side with that 26 of Gonzalez, battling for third. Gonzalez, doing an admirable job on the bottom there, trying to make it work, but not able to really clear many trucks recently. So it seems like the high side's kind of the way to be right now, but you don't want to get stuck.
Absolutely not. Malik Ray still up there. He's looking out front in that skittle machine, not being able to pull away totally. That high line's working for him. They got the middle high line going. As you see the 2 of the Tonka man there, Mike, he moves it on the low line to see if he's got it. And right behind him, they'll go door to door with the 48 of Pedro Mega there. He'll try to hold off the charge, though. I don't think he can. Jose's going to get that spot.
Yeah, Jose able to tuck in line there in 4th. Pedro back to 5th. A little bit more single file right now as these guys try to see what they have as far as tires, try to run their own pace without losing track of where they are in front of them. Mike Kelly, though, in the 2 truck works underneath the 54 and Matthews. He wants to get to second as quick as he can and try to do something with that 1 truck of Malik Ray, but I tell you, passing on the bottom looks like it's tough right now, but Mike Kelly working on that 54 Matthews. Malik Ray, meanwhile, way high in the lead, the highest line you can run in this track, right up against the wall, and they come right at him through 3 and 4 with all that center speed. So I don't know if I would have run that line, but it's interesting. It might be the tire saving line. Might be the coolest place to be.
It might be, and I think what happened there too is he might have pushed going on a little bit in that turn because he went awful high up there in the marbles too, and they was able to get a run. Now the good thing is he was able to maintain his momentum coming off the turn, so he was able to actually use that to his advantage. He goes back up there again to try it. So you're right, he might be on to something here later on. I told you they were going to search around eventually as this race went on with the dynamic grooves of this track.
It's a beautiful thing because you couldn't always run that high at Vegas. You could run a little bit high, but not that high without it working. Or with it working. So that's interesting. And Matthew's been working higher in 1 and 2 than Malik Ray has been, but come over there in 3 and 4. And Malik Ray is the highest guy on the track. Right now they're catching lap traffic. I think Chad Coleman will get his truck out of the way, and it won't be a factor, I'm assuming. But once again, Malik Ray right on that seam on the highest groove you can go, about a truck width off of the wall. Cuts it a little bit close out of turn number 4, but right now it's working for him.
You know, it's amazing to watch, man. These guys, man, skillfully use this track and use the surface. We've seen them down low. We've seen them in the middle. We've seen them high. Now we're seeing them up there up on the wall riding around. It's just amazing to watch what it takes to get the speed, and I think Malik's doing that, searching around. Still got a battle behind them, though. That 2 truck is on the inside of Jose there. They'll still go door to door. I think the 2 just don't have the preferred place as the tires will start to wear out. They've been on them for quite a while here. As we're setting them to go across the line, should be 12 to go this time by. And there's 2 things you got to keep in the back of your mind here, Harrison. These guys do. Obviously, the last lap, that's the one we're looking for. That's the checkered. But 5 to go, caution comes out. That ends it also.
Yeah, it's about like hitting the white flag if you're running a NASCAR Cup race. With 5 to go, if caution comes out, you don't have enough time to go back green. Jose Gonzalez goes underneath the 2 of Mike Kelly to try to gain back that spot. 48 of Pedro Mega trying to go with him, but looks like that'll be a side-by-side battle for fourth now as the 48 looks underneath the 26 of Jose Gonzalez. Thomas George is right behind those guys, running way high on the track, trying to work that high side. Probably sees all these guys going higher and higher in front of him. 48 gets a little bit tight coming out of turn number 2. No contact between them. Clean battle here between Gonzalez and Mega.
Yeah, it is. Pedro Mega been on a bounce back from the early on mishaps that he's had. And right now running in the 5th spot. Looking good. Look at Thomas George, though, tearing up the tailgate of that number 48. And you're right. Well, I want to appreciate everybody coming out there tonight. We're here live, Las Vegas Speedway. And the closing laps of this one here for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. And it's been a good one. It's a tight battle for the last, I'm going to say 10 to 15, 20 laps. These guys up here just been on top of each other, battling it lap after lap. What's going on, Michelle, David, and all them out there? Appreciate y'all watching. As Harrison, that number 5 is looking on the inside of the 48 again.
Yeah, Thomas George trying to make up some ground here toward the end of the race. We've seen him kind of battling mid-pack, and it seems like it's been a constant battle for that 5-truck of Thomas George, and not on the preferred groove exactly right now. Some drivers able to make a pass on the bottom. Nice run out of turn number 2 for that 5-truck. Not quite able to clear that 48. Pedro trying to make the high side do all that he can, especially with the damage that he has. It has to be holding him back a little bit, but look at that. Thomas George clears him, will slide up in front of him.
Yeah, he does. Well, got a little loose that time when they were side by side, but he made that pass. It made it look easy. A lot easier than I probably could have got it done. But I think right now Malik Ray is checking out. He's got about a 6/10 lead over the 2 guys in the 2nd spot who are still battling with each other right there. Mike Kelly and Tim Matthews as we got 8 to go across the line. The next time by will be 7 to go. Getting down here on the closing laps of this one.
Yeah, and Mike Kelly's wishing that he wasn't battling traffic for this whole run because I tell you, Malik Ray is running some great times. Mike Kelly is mirroring those times. That 2-truck is really fast, just not able to get to 2nd yet. It seems like if he's able to get to 2nd, he doesn't have enough time to catch Malik Ray, but that 2-truck has a lot of speed. I think he's just wishing this race had gone a little bit differently to have given him a chance at this win, but anything can happen here. One little mistake and he's right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've had action throughout this whole entire thing, from the green flag all the way here, I think, to the end of this one, to the checkered. That's not over with yet, folks, here at Las Vegas Speedway. These guys here, I'm at awe just watching them drive these trucks and putting on the show they've been able to put on. Malik Ray out front, Tim Matthews in 2nd, man right there in 3rd. Mike Kelly is powering it around here. Jose Gonzalez, look how I saw him the first time. I said, there's Speedy Gonzalez. And he's definitely got some speed in 4th. Thomas George sitting there in 5th. Behind him, though, well, Pedro Mega in the 91 there, Steve Gottschalk. And Pedro, they'll go door to door and battle it out.
Yeah, those 2 drivers battling for 6th. And Gottschalk, it's been a little bit loose coming back off that transition from the apron there on the front stretch for Gottschalk. But 91, Steve Gottschalk, a good qualifying, top 5 qualifying effort. Been kind of in the top 10 all race long. 48 into the wall. That'll make that battle easier for the 91, who gets him to 6th. Pedro Mega back to 7th. A little more right side damage to add to that truck, but he doesn't have to go much further for the checkered flag because we're 4 laps to go. Absolutely.
Well, you're talking about it. He got a little tight coming out of the turn, pushed it in. Look who's coming up through there for the 7th spot, battling Pedro. That's Joey Katina. He said he had a good truck tonight. He might come out of here. And hey, I always call him Scott Smiley. It's Scott Simley, though. He's coming up there also, and the man's definitely got to be smiling. He came out of nowhere here, and he could have a good finish. And, we had to go a little bit low there, so he avoided the 48.
Yeah, a little bit of netco. Those 2 drivers didn't look like they touched, but between there's contact there in 3 and 4. The Simley gets into the 48 of Mega. Pedro again, by the way, 2nd time he's gotten moved up the track. 2nd time he saved it, keeping it off the wall. So good job by him. Simley and Katina, this is I think the highest positions they've ran all race, and hey, that's good timing because this is when you want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right there, 7th and 8th spot. Joey Katina sitting in 7th. 8th spot, man, there's Scott Simley. And I always say Scott Smiley, but man, he's definitely smiling. I mean, it should be, man's up there in 8th, and just to give you an idea, started 20th here tonight. So looking good so far, and he's trying to run down. Maybe can hoping he can maybe catch Joey up there and get around him. We're still single file, as I say single file. Mike Kelly still trying to work over the 54 machine. As we come to the line, this time by will be white flag one more time for that man out front, Malik Ray.
Yeah, Malik has really taken control in this one, and you know, he was controlling the pace when they were all together there in that giant pack, and you know, it looked like he was in a very vulnerable spot, but he might have just been pushing as hard as he had to, or just being a little bit more aware of how much wheel he was using and things of that nature. But whatever the reason, he's pulled it out. He's already taken the white flag. Mike Kelly stuck there battling for second with Tim Matthews. It's a side-by-side battle for them, but it's all Malik Ray up front.
Malik Ray heading into the last turns. We'll watch this battle for second spot as the two dives on the inside. That's Mike Kelly. He's going to try it one time. Can he hold it? No. Comes out of it sideways drifting. Thomas George is going to pull up. Drag race to the line. He's going to hang on to third, though. But the man tonight, Malik Ray, pulls the win off. Tim Matthews holds on for second. And that man right there, he comes out in third with the number 2 machine of Mike Kelly. Wow, what a finish and what a race to this one here tonight.
Yeah, great race, great finish. Nice to see them race it out. And I tell you, it's hard to believe when you look at, 20 laps ago to see all those trucks on top of each other. You just figure someone's going to make a mistake, someone's going to push too hard, but they raced it out cleanly, and that's what we've seen a lot of here in this Sim500 series.
Absolutely, definitely a very, very, very good race here tonight. Loved watching this one from the green flag on, and if you get a chance to rewatch it, definitely might want to go and check this thing out, because it was awesome to see these guys here. Mike Kelly pulling it off in third, Tim Matthews right there in second. What a run, what a run. And, Malik Ray, don't see him quite yet. He'll probably join up in it. I don't see Tim Matthews in here.
No, not yet. I'm looking. I'm on the lookout, but probably quick debrief with their teams after that top 5 effort, I'm sure.
Oh, there's Malik. Good deal. He's down there in the green. Awesome. Just the only one we need now is to find Tim Matthews. But hey, while we're waiting, we'll go ahead and bring up our third place man, Mike Kelly, who did a fine job in that number 2. Tried to get second. Well, let's get a word in with him.
Definitely. We're here with Mike Kelly, third place finisher tonight. And Mike, I tell you, when we were halfway through that race, I said, look at that 2 truck. He's got a lot of long run speed. We've seen that from him before. And you had to notice just how good your lap times were throughout this one.
Yeah, that's pretty much my MO. Like you said, you guys are going to have to, well, you don't have to, but you'll find out I started the back of a lot, and that I got, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, these types of tracks, I got good long run speed. So it's just, hopefully I can stay clean, and then it's a matter of time. I know I can do it. It's a confidence factor. And, I had pretty much everybody covered that was left at the end, but Malik there probably.
And I tell you, with about 30 to go, we had that whole pack running together, a lot of hard racing there. And something that was on my mind is kind of, with 30 laps to go, you're still going to hit that fall off where the truck starts handling worse. And I was wondering how you decide in that moment, just how hard you can push it against those guys and still retain some handling at the end.
Well, that's definitely the hardest thing to do. I struggle with it greatly, even with all the experience I have. And I knew in this case, well, the first restart there was 40 to go, and I felt good because I figured, the people who do push it hard now are going to be toast at the end. But then that last one with 30, it was kind of iffy. I ran it pretty hard most of the 30 laps there probably. So I tried to save a little, but I couldn't afford to give up any track position. So I drove it pretty hard there.
Yeah, it certainly looks like everyone did. Everyone kind of had to. And
yeah.
And but I tell you, coming home with a podium there, we saw you make that last effort to get into second. It was a great run for the 2 truck tonight. Another great finish for the 2 team. And who would you like to thank? Who makes it happen for you?
Well, I brought the Tonka truck out again tonight. I don't know if that's a sign or not. I might have to stick with that one the rest of the season. It seems like when I bring out the Sarah Kelly and Sewell truck, who's backed me a lot for a lot of leagues this season, I've had bad luck. And Bristol was a mess last week. It was Bristol. Hurt me in the points. but hopefully I'll recover from that. And of course, thanks to you guys, of course, for putting these out over broadcast, and thanks to Sim500 for a really fun Monday Night League. Looking forward to the rest of the season.
We appreciate that. Congrats again. Thanks for joining us up here.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Harrison. I tell you what, Mike Kelly right there did a fine job here of running that machine around here tonight. So couldn't see where old Tim Matthews here is our second place man here tonight, folks. Won't be able to, but hey, I did see old Jose Gonzalez. Yeah, he's down in there, so he pulled this thing off in fourth place tonight. Don't bring him up. Let you get a talk with him, Harris. How's that?
Oh, absolutely. Jose Gonzalez. That's a name I don't know if we've seen yet this season. Obviously, a winner at Pocono in the Monday Night Money last season, and competing in the Winter Series. And I thought Jose started toward the middle or toward the back, and made your way to the front. It was a where did he come from moment. Suddenly you're up there being Speedy Gonzalez. And describe your race.
Well, first of all, I'm really happy to be here. I wasn't able to race for a month and a half because of the Hurricane Maria. We're without power here in Puerto Rico, so yeah, I wasn't fast at all in qualifying or practice, but I was able to save some tires and wait it out. I didn't try to get into any side-by-side action, and usually if you do that and be careful, you don't get into any wrecks, you get a chance for a top 10 or better. And that's what I did. And at the end, the last restart, I went for it, and I didn't save any tires, and by the end I just got tight there, and I didn't have any more.
I actually forgot you were down in Puerto Rico, and certainly I think I speak for everyone when I say that we're glad you're all right. We're glad to have you here. We're glad to have you back.
Yeah, it's really nice to be back. I mean, I've been a month and a half with no power in my home, and I got a power generator, and I was I don't know how I did it, but I was able to put things back up and see if I could race tonight, and you know, a little fun.
Yeah, we're certainly glad you're able to have a little fun tonight, and I tell you, it was good seeing that 26 machine back. And do you think you'll be able to run next week, or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I will be able to do this every Monday. So yeah, if I can, I'll certainly do whatever I can to be here. I mean, it was fun to be back with these guys and get bullied around, you know.
And you certainly made a statement there by coming home into the top 5.
Yeah, it was nice to be up there and run. It was really fun. Those last 20 laps were really fun. I mean, racing side by side with Mike Kelly, and then you know, I had to give it up to Thomas George, because I just burned up everything. But it was really fun. I'm glad I was back. So I'm glad to see you guys.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. And is there anyone else you'd like to thank?
Sure, I got a lot of people I would like to thank, but they won't be able to hear me. It's been tough here, and you know, a shout out to all my friends here. We got a nice group of NASCAR fans, and we play fantasy football and stuff. I mean, fantasy NASCAR. And yeah, but you know, we'll see when we get things back up in order here in this island.
Yeah, we certainly send all of our best wishes down there and hope everything goes back to normal as soon as possible. Glad to at least have you here tonight. Thanks for joining us.
All right, Harrison.
Well, I tell you what, Harrison, right there's old Jose Gonzalez, and I tell you, he came through there like Speedy Gonzalez here tonight, and was looking really good. So I'm gonna head off down here on the victory lane. I know another happy man in the number 1 machine, Skittles man himself. Tell him to jump up here. Can't move it. Want to send him a poke. But that's Malik Ray himself here, tonight's winner here at Las Vegas Speedway. Malik Ray, is Joe out in the booth? Got a copy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, I'll tell you what, Malik, man, bad fast out there, but I did the last 20, about 30 laps there. Those guys behind you were climbing at the bit. We got to ask, though, before that last caution, we noticed you fell back a little bit. Was you thinking it was going to go a long green flag and was you trying to save tires? Was that a strategy you were pulling?
Yeah, I was expecting it to go green all the way. That's why I was trying to save tires. I had let the front two go, but I wasn't planning on trying to fall any back farther than third.
Absolutely. That's what me and Harrison was up here looking at. Then the caution fell, and it looked like you just put the hammer down from there. The guys behind you did a fantastic job of trying to get up there. Now, the one thing we saw throughout the race here, we saw that early on with the tires, you could make the inside work, but as the tire wear went on, it looked like that middle high groove. Was that something you were seeing out there?
As the run went on, I felt like you could run and make passes anywhere. Like, yeah, it may have been a little bit harder after 10 or 15 laps to get by someone, but normally they get loose and you'd be able to go flying by.
All right, well, good deal. Hey, yeah, that Skittles machine definitely flying here at Las Vegas for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series. I tell you what, congratulations on pulling the win off here. Definitely a good bounce back from last week at Bristol to this week here. And then coming from almost dead last to bring that thing to the front. Did you just have a bad qualifying, or was that just by design?
I only qualify if I think I can get the pole, and when guests showed up, I knew I didn't really have a chance of that, so I decided to just start from the back, and I was just gonna try and save my tires and climb through everyone slowly but surely.
Man's got confidence like that. Started from the bottom and came to the top, and definitely to the top. Won it here tonight. Well, Malik, as always, got anybody out there you want to thank for this awesome win tonight?
You guys for broadcasting the race, JD for my paint scheme, and Joey and all the other admins for making this week possible every week. I really appreciate being able to run with you guys and you guys being able to broadcast the series.
Absolutely. Well, hey, definitely it's entertaining to watch along with the race here tonight. Again, congratulations, hats off to you. Tonight's winner here, Malik Ray.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
All right, Harrison, right there, you heard it. Man says, so went on throughout the run. You could pass about anywhere, but it was definitely hard on that inside. I tell you, it was thriller from the green flag on to the checkered. They had some caution, had a lot of battling going on, had some green flag stops. A lot of big names out here had some issues earlier on in the race. That's definitely one of them things going to shake the points up, so to speak, as we go into next week. But it's definitely was a thriller here at Las Vegas. You got any final words, Harris?
Oh, just excited that we had another race that was settled on the track. A lot of green flag racing, especially toward the end. So always love seeing that here at Sim500.
Yeah, without a doubt, definitely was. It was an awesome battle up front, battle throughout the field. I mean, these guys come prepared here to do battle week in and week out. Sim500 Monday Night Money Winter Series here in the trucks. Well, we were live here tonight at Las Vegas Speedway. And well, for myself, Joe White up here in the booth and Harrison up here. Well, we're out of here tonight. Again, congratulations to Malik Ray and company. Everyone have a good night.